Reminds me of something my dad once said. He said the biggest compliment he ever got from people, was, "I didn't know you carried a gun."
Yeah.
Which harkens to something me and you discussed when you said you know how you look. You don't look like,
Yeah.
and that has its uses, especially when you're dealing with people who might be, like I said, who have psychological, cultural, and as well as emotional hurdles that they have to overcome to become part of our wonderful culture.
Yeah, absolutely. So
Because
you
they don't
said that
know.
well, they don't know what they don't know, and we don't know what we don't know. I'm learning that, man. That's like one of the biggest growth curves ever. You
Right.
think you know, but you don't know. Hey, there's always more to learn. And that's what I love about it, right?
And
But
guns have a PR problem. That's the truth. You know what I mean? I mean, if you look at how they're, right before I got on this a little while ago, I like watching documentaries, and I'm watching a documentary about the Juarez cartel and what's going on in Phoenix. And if you sit here and watch this type of stuff, if you're not me, who knows the other side to some extent, I mean, I can understand why somebody who that's what they've been listening to their whole life would be terrified.
yeah, it makes sense. Totally. Yeah, and you had a story too about your friend Gabe White that was brought up in our conversation as well. And I'm curious to know how you guys became really good friends. And describe Gabe for those that don't know who Gabe White is, right? Let go. I want you to describe him first and then tell your story about him because I thought that was remarkable. And really what I would call this is an example of what we would call a true defender. Somebody whose first tool is this, right? So yeah,
Yeah.
take it away.
When you meet Gabe, if you look at him, you think he was a skateboarder or something. I mean, he
Yeah.
looks. I mean, he wears his suede Pumas, his khakis, and he wears the same kind of shirts all the time. And he's very, unremarkable in appearance in that way. With the glasses and everything. Like I said, you think he was like a hacky sack guy or something. Um, yeah, that's how he looks, and he's one of the most phenomenal, defensive shooters that I've ever seen and met in my life. And I took his class a couple years ago, and when I arrived, I'm into something called house music. I'm a house music head, so I'm bouncing into my car as I pull up, and Gabe's out in the parking lot parking cars, right, at his own class. That's the type of guy he is, right? So he's out parking cars. Yeah, so I park my car. I get out. He said, "Hey, Aqil, what's that music you listening to?" I said, house. He's like, "You like house music?" I'm like, "Yeah." So we ended up sharing music and talking about it, and we became friends, really good friends. So I mean, we hang out all the time during TACCON. He stays with me, and even when he comes to town, he stays with me, and he's literally one of the few friends, really good friends I have in the industry. And not too long ago, we were talking. He was here last October, and he said we were talking. He said, "I killed something very scary happened to me." And I said, "What?" He said he was near his house. I hope he doesn't mind me sharing it, but he was near his house, and he went to drop some garbage off, and there was some person hanging around there. And at some point, the guy kind of charged at him. He thinks that he was shutting the door. The guy would start coming to grab the door, but he didn't know at the time what the guy was doing. And the guy looked like he had something in his hand. And here, this is a guy who can do a failure drill, two to the chest, one to the head in 1.5 seconds. I had the timer in my hand when he did it. Right?
That's
And
so
you know what
cool.
the guy did? Gabe did? He ran. And I told him afterward, I said, I said, if you ever weren't my hero at this point, you're my hero. And I
Yeah.
said, because that's exactly how you would handle that situation, the better way, as opposed, what a lot of guys would have done. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They would have drawn or something like that. And instead, a guy with all of that talent and that ability and all the hard work that he's put into his craft chose
Mhm.
to take the option of running away. And I was very proud of him and very proud to know him at that point.